Hey guys, and welcome to today's MCAT question of the day. As always, we'll be working through one of the many MCAT practice problems found at MCATselfprep.com, home of the free MCAT prep course. I'm Dalton, a 100th percentile MCAT tutor, and today I'll be walking you through this problem as though you're one of my private tutoring students. Today's problem comes from the end of lesson mastery quiz in lesson 6 of the Biology 2 module. Be sure to hit pause and try this problem on your own before watching my explanation. So to really nail this problem, we need to understand the function of 3 different hormones that are all released by the pancreas. Number 1, glucagon, number 2, insulin, and number 3, somatostatin. Let's talk about them for just a sec right here. First off is glucagon. Now, I really like to think of glucagon as glucose gone, because when there isn't enough glucose in the blood, when we have low blood sugar, I like to think of the pancreas freaking out and saying, oh my gosh, the glucose is gone. And so it pumps out glucagon. Now what glucagon does is it's going to go to the liver, it's going to promote the breakdown of glycogen, and most importantly, it's going to add more glucose into the blood. So when there's low blood sugar, pancreas releases glucagon and we increase the blood sugar levels. Next is insulin. Insulin does exactly the opposite. A good way to think about insulin is thinking about it as insul-in. Here's why. When we have too much sugar in the blood, when the blood sugar levels are too high, the pancreas releases insulin and triggers tissue cells outside of the blood to take in that extra sugar. Additionally, some of that sugar is built into glycogen in the liver. But that's why I like to think about insulin as insul-in, because tissue cells take glucose out of the blood and take that same glucose into themselves. And so that helps us to take high blood sugar levels and decrease them, essentially doing the opposite of glucagon. Finally, somatostatin is a third hormone released by the pancreas that's going to inhibit the release of glucagon and inhibit the release of insulin. Now that we know that, let's go back to the problem and see what we can figure out. Essentially, in this question, researchers are working with some subjects and they're measuring their blood sugar levels before they eat and then every 10 minutes after they eat for an hour. So we're trying to see what happens to their blood sugar levels in that hour after they eat. The question wants to know what hormone activity would they expect to see at the same time. Knowing what we know now, let's try and figure out these answer options. Number 1, somatostatin would be released to stimulate glucagon and insulin release. Well, as we know, somatostatin actually inhibits glucagon and insulin release. So that's going to be incorrect. What about our next option? Insulin release would plateau, and that would keep postprandial blood sugar elevated. Postprandial is kind of a tricky word. It essentially means after eating. So what we're saying is insulin release would plateau, it wouldn't increase, and the blood sugar levels will stay high. Well, that doesn't make a lot of sense because after we get all that sugar into our blood and into our body, the cells want to take it in so that they can use it. We don't want it to just be floating around in our blood. In fact, that could cause some problems. So this is going to be incorrect. Next option. Glucagon release would increase and postprandial blood sugar would increase. Well, again, that doesn't make a lot of sense. We just ate a lot of food, put a lot into our blood. It doesn't make sense that we want to add even more sugar to our blood. Those levels would be way too high. So this is going to be incorrect as well. So our final answer option says that insulin release from beta cells would increase and postprandial blood sugar would begin to drop. That's exactly what would happen because think about it. Insulin gets released and so the cells take glucose in and so it leaves the blood. Let's go ahead and check that answer option. Awesome. Perfect. If you enjoyed this MCAT question of the day, be sure to give it a like. For more MCAT questions of the day, be sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel and enroll in our free MCAT prep course found at MCATselfprep.com. If you really want to maximize your MCAT score, be sure to check out our elite tutoring services and request a free consultation with any of our available tutors. We'd love to hear from you, talk about your situation, and figure out how you can maximize your MCAT score. Look forward to hearing from you soon, and we'll see you next time.